Welcome to episode 135.
Of No Room for Phonies.
And we've been talking about goal setting, and on our last one we did the just one thing, so kind of setting, one goal at a time to make some changes in your life. So this one is just about small gains and goal setting, and then at the end we're just going to share 10 sort of medium-term goals, like not 5-year goals, but like 6-month goals.
Yeah, 6-month goals.
That we each have. And we haven't shared them yet with each other, so we'll see if they match any of them. But I just wanted to start by just talking about some of the benefits of goal setting. And one of the ones is that it just provides direction for you. Mm-hmm. That it kind of keeps you on track and helps you manage your time.
And it gives you a purpose as well.
Yeah.
And I think it motivates you or warms you back up again to take action.
Well, and that goes along with the next point where it just says it gives you focus for your time and energy. So you're not just kind of aimlessly. It helps me, like my longer term goals. Like every month I set goals of things I want to accomplish, and they translate into my daily planning. So now my longer term goals are going to figure into my monthly goals that will then figure into my daily planning.
And all of this is a learning experience for me because I make lofty goals
but if they don't
stab
literally
in the dark at getting some of them done. I mean, it's not like I've been completely aimless my whole life.
No, but if you have clarity about your goals, then it does lead to greater productivity.
Yes.
Because then you're looking for some specific things that you're doing to accomplish those longer term goals.
It almost is like SMART goals because it's measurable.
And then you have clarity about what's most important to you, because there's a lot of things that you could write down, but when you're setting goals, you really do have to prioritize what are the things you want to accomplish in the next 6 months.
Right.
So, and I think goals as well provide like an emotional and intellectual engagement in the outcomes you want to achieve. So it actually gives you a bit more freedom because you're visualizing your future.
Yeah, you're thinking about your future. And I think setting goals also, well, we've talked about it, sets a framework for the moving forward.
And it makes you accountable. And I have a big thing about accountability right now. I think it's one of the things that we lack the most in the world around us is accountability. And we have a lot of
people who blame everybody else.
And entitlement. And a very little bit.
Yeah, I'm entitled to all this, but I'm not accountable for how I use it.
No, I don't have to be accountable to my boss or for my time or whatever. And I think setting goals helps you make better decisions because you have boundaries around your time. You're not just all over the place.
Right.
You look at those goals and you say, okay, I've got to make some decisions here that are going to direct me to be able to achieve these goals.
And I think, we already said having goals gives you direction and motivation, but I think it gives you control over your future because you have the power to limit how much other people can affect your goals.
And when you feel like you have control over the future, you can make better decisions in the present.
And goals increase excitement and inspiration, so they preserve and provide motivation.
Well, and when you see how far you've come towards a goal or an achievement, then you're motivated to keep going.
Right.
So I think goal setting is really important. I've set monthly goals for a while, but I haven't really ever thought about like more long-term or medium-term goals. So
like we're actually writing them down.
Yeah. So to effectively set goals, start by identifying what you truly want to achieve and why, and aligning your goals with your values and passions. Then break down the larger goals into smaller, manageable steps and set specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound SMART objectives.
So that's an acronym. S is for specific, M for measurable, A for achievable, R for relevant, and T for time bound.
So then you create a plan including timelines and potential obstacles and stay accountable through the tracking process and celebrate achievements. So here is 10 ways to set goals.
First, define your goals, clearly articulate what you want to achieve, and ensure that they're specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and time bound.
Personalize them. Consider what truly matters to you and how these goals align with your values and passions.
Yeah, I didn't follow these 10 steps.
No, I
goals.
kind of did.
Well, I will see how close I
Then
did.
you make a plan. You break down the larger goals into
To the
smaller,
ones.
manageable steps.
Anticipate obstacles so that you're not kind of blindsided by things throwing you off.
And then tracking your progress, which I do because every day I cross things out and look at things. Celebrating achievements, prioritizing your goals. So focus on the most important objectives first and then move ahead and align with your values.
Yeah.
Be flexible and seek accountability. So similar to what they said, here are 10 things that can contribute to a happier existence.
With goals.
With goals, yes. So with these, when you set goals, you become more conscious of yourself.
Right. So that just keep swimming, from
Yeah.
the movie. Just keep going. Might sound familiar.
Yeah. So, and if you're conscious and know yourself, you can move forward regardless of external opinions. Like if you've thought things through.
Right.
And another thing that setting goals can do is just increase your physical resilience. So you're stepping out of your comfort zone.
You take care of your health by fighting against germs and bacteria and getting enough sleep and movement.
And then you're establishing a strong foundation that pays off in the long time. And then it also like mental resilience. Our mental landscape is not a walk in the park for any of us because we face, especially these days, a constant barrage, like in real life and on social media. So
yeah, when we're bombarded with more stimuli than in the past, even if you don't have a smartphone, there's much more on TV and even just on billboards and signs as you drive by.
So, the idea of adopting a practice of some kind, immersing yourself in nature, having a workout routine, whatever, a journaling
meditation,
thing.
lots of the things
those
we've talked about in the last couple of years.
And then it talks about trying mindfulness. So that's another one, whether it's through meditation or yoga. So wholeheartedly pursue your beliefs, and then, success is inevitable, but it doesn't also say that success is easy.
Yeah.
I think that's the one thing that we have to get into people's heads in their 20s and 30s, that life is not easy.
Yeah. Be selfish. I think we were raised in the generation where it was always look out for other people and don't prioritize yourself. And I think generally women fall prey to this more than men. Men are able at being selfish a little easier.
But self-care is paramount. So making that a part of, who you are and what you value is yourself. So the world doesn't care about you. Ensure yourself of a good future. So the world is very indifferent to your personal life and problems. And oftentimes when my kids would come home and say, oh, this person's this and this, picking on me or doing, especially if it was a teacher, I would be like, they're not spending that much time thinking about you.
No.
So move on.
There's no motivation behind
And it's a
the
selfish
mistakes that they're
world.
making.
And so ironically, when everyone embraces selfishness, it's not truly selfish. So whenever someone seeks something in their favor, they'll seek it in others, offering something in return. So be selfish and work towards your promising future, because if you become and meet your goals, then you're going to be contributing to making the world a better place. If you're just this rambling whatever, then you're not going to make a difference in the world.
Exactly.
And then
So-
I love this idea of starting a side hustle as a goal. I just think that's,
It's a way to secure your survival, and future always requires money. And so having a side hustle is not a bad idea.
and
It doesn't have to be all consuming.
No, but I just think it's an interesting thing to think about. So embarking on a side hustle not only brings in extra income monthly, weekly, or daily, but it also imparts valuable lessons on earning money in this kind of a society.
Yeah. And you were talking to our kids.
I've been talking to our kids about that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what's your passion?
Because your job might not end up being your passion.
No. So you can do your job, but you could also do a side hustle in something that you're super passionate about. And I think number 8 is super supportive. Super important. Sorry. Surround yourself with people that support you. And if you are finding that you have people in your life that are passive aggressive or
who think you're an embarrassment, or they predict you're going to fail,
or they're just not nice to you when
Yeah.
I think most of us understand how you're sort of hanging out with someone and you get that feeling that you can't be yourself and you can't talk about the things you want to talk about,
Right.
and all that sort of thing. So move on. And then it says to travel.
Yeah.
So and I love number 10 in this one. Have conversations with people that differ from you.
Yeah. Be curious.
Yeah.
And ask people their story.
Yeah. And exploring the thoughts of someone opposite to you can be really fascinating. And I find...
And you're not necessarily going to become bosom buddies. I mean, you might.
No,
but that's
but
not
I
the
just
point.
think we don't have to align or foster animosity. We can just talk about and share ideas.
Mm-hmm.
So my 10 goals
We have to do one at a time, though. Like you say
Okay.
one, I say one.
Okay, so my 10 goals. This is
Are you starting in the most important or the least
No,
important?
they aren't in any
They're not
particular
in any
order.
order.
Mine aren't.
Mine aren't either.
Okay. So on our phones, we have this app reminder that tells us to drink water. So every time my app reminder goes, which is about once an hour, like every hour,
Mm-hmm.
I've been drinking a cup of water or a cup of tea or something.
Nice.
So because I really have never, ever got a handle on drinking enough water.
Yeah, me neither. But that's not one of my goals.
It's not one of yours? Oh. Because I think staying hydrated is like super,
I mean, it
super,
should be,
super-
but it didn't happen to make it. To my
Okay.
list.
So what's your first one? Or 10? Or whatever.
I'm starting at 10 and going up to 1, but they're
Okay.
still not really priority.
Okay.
I want to, speaking of side hustle, I want to make 10 knitting and or crochet videos for my YouTube channel.
Okay. That's
in the next
great.
6 months.
You would have to make a list and plan those out.
I would.
Yes, you would. Number 2 for me, and I'm starting in May, June, July, August, September, October.
Mhm.
So between May 1st and November 1st.
All right.
That's
Sounds good.
That's what my kind of thing is to start a 15 minutes before bed meditation practice.
Cool. And I'm just going to suggest start with 5 minutes. And
No, I'm just saying, but by the
15 minutes before bed is when you kind of want to.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. My number 9 is to read 2 nonfiction books and 2 fiction books.
a day, a month,
No,
a year.
in 6 months. I'm not retired.
That's funny.
I have to read that on top
Mine are
of,
like a day. Yeah.
I have to do it on top of 100 emails a day.
Yeah,
so
no, it's fine. My number 3 is to plan 8 bike trips between May 1st and November 1st.
all right. Sayonara.
With you.
Okay.
was my
I
hope.
know. I'm just kidding.
So
My 8th one is to practice meditation 5 days or more per week.
yeah, so
There we go.
that matches. My number 4 is to cycle our 20 kilometer loop at least 5 times a week between May 1st and November 1st.
All right. Well, then we better bike faster because 1 hour and a half is a lot of time to give up for.
Yeah,
20
it is.
kilometers.
But also, if you take a big ride one day,
Yeah.
Like 20 times 5 is 100. But if
Right.
we go 50 one day, then you're going 10,
Yeah, we
5.
Oh, I see. You want to
You
do
know-
a 50K and then we only have to do 2 20s and 110
Right.
or whatever.
But anyway,
Okay.
that's what I want to do.
All right. My number 7 is to get a gratitude journal and a stream of consciousness journal habit built. Like over 6 months. Develop the habit.
Okay. My number 5 is to redo actually the blog and transfer everything to Substack.
Okay. Sounds cool.
This blog,
This
like the
blog.
blog that
Yes. No room for phonies.
the No Room for Phonies. I'd like it all on Substack because I'd like to get rid of this platform that I currently use.
Yep. Makes sense. My next one, I guess 5th, is 6 for me because I went backwards
Yes,
from
that's
10 to
fine.
1, is to cycle more than 300 kilometers this summer. So there we go.
Well, you're gonna be, if you cycle with me, you're gonna be cycling a lot. But the thing is,
Well, I don't
I'm
get
going,
to go every trip you do.
No, and
so,
I can go, like some of these things I'm going to be doing on my own.
yeah,
The 20K
that's
one.
that's why I didn't.
As long as I don't
was
get a
less
flat tire like
ambitious.
happened this
like
week.
yesterday. Thank you, Sebastian, for fixing her flat tire.
Number 6 for me is to make a plan and get new vanities for the bathrooms and taps and finally get those done.
Sounds like some of your goals are my goals.
No, but those are things that I wanted, like get
Yes.
them ordered, get them done,
Got
do
it.
that.
Yeah.
That's a thing.
I want to reintroduce a balanced habit of weight training, resistance, and yoga.
Right. I'd like us to save 10,000 to invest
Sounds great.
for over the next 6 months, which is very doable
Yeah.
in our lives.
We'll just work on it. And I want to migrate the No Room for Phonies episodes and
well, there
blog
you
to
go.
Substack.
And we match on that one. And I personally would like to lose 15 pounds.
I didn't put my weight loss goals in, but that's great. I do have some. My 8th one is try to make or make up 6 new gluten-free recipes.
Oh, cool.
Yep.
For baking or
Baking.
for baking?
Baking.
Cool.
Yeah.
But
Like
a
one-
really good bread one.
Like a bread, and then I have a cool cracker idea. And
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. My number 9 is very similar to yours. Balanced exercise routines that include press, pull, knee flexion, and hip hinge with cardio, strength, and resistance training.
There we go.
So, and I'm going to do Pilates once a week the whole time.
It's during summer. Yeah.
Yeah, like all these 6 months, once
Yes.
a week. So that is
That's
a lot
part of
of
it.
resistance.
Yep.
And definitely the flexion and whatever, but definitely to incorporate more of that into my...
Okay. My second to last is to get my email accounts scrubbed from useless subscriptions and spam.
Oh, I did that.
You've
So
done
that
that.
was...
Yep.
And then my number 10 is really, truly, honestly to have a monthly games night with different friends and family.
Sounds cool.
Because we talked about that a while and I don't even know if we tried really. But
We had 2.
yeah, but I'd like to really do that 6 times.
All right. And my last one is based on the Gottman's book. Respond to more of your bids for connection more regularly.
Oh,
I don't know
do
if you
I
remember.
bid for
I don't know if you
connection?
remember what a bid for connection is. It's all the little things, like when you walk in the door and you say you did something with Mason and Charlotte, and I turn and
And
respond and
actually
ask
respond
questions
to
and
me?
not say uh-huh.
I do lots of things with them.
But
Today
whatever.
it was mud pies. It was very fun.
You are walking out of the Royal Bank ATM and you looked at me and smiled, and I smiled back. That's a bit. Your smile first is a bid for connection, and I'm responding.
Oh, there you
So
go.
it's little things.
Okay.
It's just connection.
So a few of our goals matched, right? Like the Substack one, which I'm happy that was part of yours, and the fitness goals
the fitness ones I'll do.
match, and
Meditation.
the meditation, right? So yeah, that's great.
Who knew?
So
We're on the same page.
May 1st is around the corner. So if you want to set 6 month goals, you'll be going from May 1st to November 1st or October 31st, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And that's 6 months. And it's pretty cool because it's summer. So you might be able to set some goals. So that ends our little thing into what do you call that?
I don't know, our little
trip into goal
setting. Yeah.
Into goal setting. So with Mother's Day coming up, and this will be after Mother's Day. Can you move it down so
Yep.
I can see what I thought I wrote something at the bottom? Yes. So May 15th, I want to do the books worth reading. It's called The Mother Dance, How Children Change Your Life. And it's by Harriet Lerner.
And I'll respond with the father dance when
it's
makes
ever,
sense.
well, you could write it.
Well,
Maybe that should be
maybe
one
it's
of your
been written.
goals. I don't think so. I honestly don't think
Well,
so.
I was a stay-at-home dad for 3 years,
So you might want
I
to
have a
write
little
your book.
insight.
So anyway, on May 15th, we're going to talk about this book, The Mother's Dance. And I know it's after Mother's Day, but whatever.
It's Mother's Day month.
It's Mother's Day month. So I just wanted to talk about mothering a bit. So yeah. So set some goals. I would encourage you to make some 6-month goals and then transfer them into monthly goals and then put them in lists, daily lists. That's what I would encourage you to
Yes,
do.
she would.
And if you can't do that, well, at least hit some 6-month goals and maybe some monthly ones. Make
Right.
some kind of a
I
plan.
didn't say list making was one of my 6
No,
month
it
goals.
wasn't. Too bad. Anyway, thanks for joining us on No Room for Phonies for
Episode 135.
setting goals.
Good night.